These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Mountain Goat article quote, Biden to host Iraqi Prime Minister on April 15th, White House. Mountain Goat says, could this visit to Washington talk about the currency reform and getting support for it? Certainly it may and probably will. President Biden is scheduled to meet with the Iraqi Prime Minister Soudani and dedicate several days to Iraq and the situation in it. A clear signal of respect for the Prime Minister and Iraq's political and international standing. Talks, I am sure, will be mostly about the status of forces agreement. Mark Z via PDK Bank Story. One of our members had a friend go to a North Carolina bank yesterday. They had a conversation with a branch manager. They talked about an hour on life, currencies, expectations, etc. The bank manager said they are absolutely prepared for this. He said he knew a lot of banks were avoiding it, but they were preparing for it. He said, we don't know the timing, but it could be any moment. So they were having a very long conversation with a banker that was clued in, plugged in, and prepared. Frank 26 Iraq Boots on the Ground report. Firefly, the foreign minister already in USA, is a prelude to Sudani grandstand that's coming April 1st, our new fiscal year. Frank says so much is now pointing for your first quarter. April the 1st, or maybe the first week of April, especially with Sudani going to see the President of the United States in Washington, D.C. on the 15th of April. Seems to me he's going to see the President with a new exchange rate under his belt, not the weak leadership of a program rate. Militiaman article quote, advisor to the Prime Minister al-Sudani, the global economic community estimates as a stock capital at prevailing price today, Iraq's worth about 16 to 17 trillion US dollars. It's a lot. Instead of having people come in and mine and take it away and produce and sell it, Iraq's going to mine it and produce it and sell it. They're going to get both sides of the equation. That raises the income stream for Iraq. Pimpy says when they redenominate, all currencies are going to have a new look. Most likely what you're going to see is the same thing you see here in the United States. We have $100, $50, $20, $10, $5, and a $1 bill. Most likely that's what you're going to see in the dinars. Mark Z via PDK question, do we have the green light yet, Mark? Mark Z says, I think we have the green light. I'm looking forward to what the next few days bring. Sandy Ingram says, we often talk about 10 cents to 25 cents to $1. People get upset, but that is what could happen without a reval, and most of the dinar investors would experience a six-figure profit if the currency just went up 10 cents to $1 US. Caparoni says Iraq only has a net worth of about $16 trillion, including all minerals and oils in the ground. With over 80 trillion dinar in circulation, they could never significantly RV the Iraqi dinar. Mark Zavia PDK comment, Sudani is supposed to be in the US on April 15th. Mark Z says, personally, I think Sudani may be here for a victory lap after we have already started doing out the exchanges. Militiaman has an article quote, in addition to the possibility of achieving a significant increase in its financial incomes, that would raise the purchasing power of the Iraqi individual. To me, that's massive because they're talking about raising the purchasing power of the Iraqi dinar. How do you raise the purchasing power of the Iraqi dinar without changing the exchange rate? Obviously, they can't. And lastly, Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground report, Firefly says, my bank guy says the only way they would stop funding the budget and stop everything is to make a rate change in the budget. The new rate will produce excess funds to cover the reform projects. He says when that budget gets done this weekend, and if it is amended, the rate change will come real close in his opinion. Frank says, I agree 100%. Once we see the budget amended and released, it will expose a new exchange rate. I don't think that a simple rate of 1-to-1 is what Sudani is looking for anymore.